Hi everybody, this is Diane. Today is Sunday and we just got home from Disney World late last night, and I ran my battery right down to 0. And I'm talking about my battery. I have no energy today, but and I have a cold. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. My grandson caught a cold on the plane and then passed it on to the rest of us. But we still had fun, and it didn't put us out any of the days. We didn't have to stay home because of it, but we weren't feeling our best, but we had a great time. And this is sitting here because this is my Disney journal. If you watched me create this journal, and I made another one almost exactly like it for my daughter. So I just wanted to show you today some of the things I brought home that will go into these journals. So we went 3 days. We spent 3 nights in a Verbo in Kissimmee before we actually went to our Disney resort. And we just had some fun shopping at some of the outlets and things like that. And we went to Medieval Times, which was just up the road from our Verbo. So I just saved napkins. So we had these napkins at the table, and I did not want to use it. They don't give you silverware at Medieval Times because they didn't use silverware then. So I knew I had to use a napkin, but I peeled off the top layer. It was a nice thick 3-layer napkin. So I peeled off the top layer before I used it. And then when they brought dessert, they brought us extra napkins. So I just brought another one home. So I will put some of that in my journal. And we went to our resort on Sunday. We were able to check in, but we couldn't check in. We had all our luggage there, but it was set aside for us until our room was ready. So we spent the day in Disney Springs. By the way, here's my magic band. These are what you wear on your wrist in Disney World, and this does everything for you. It gets you onto the the Lightning Lane rides if you purchase Lightning Lane, and you can pay for food and everything. You can pay for everything with that, and you have to scan into each park with it. So that won't go in my journal, but I will keep it. So we went to Disney Springs and spent the day there, and my good friend Jeannie, who has made many purchases from me, she's purchased quite a few journals. She has sent me so many Happy Meals. And I've sent her some things, and she did a video a little while back on a journal she made. I think it was around Halloween time that I got to see this video, and she made a journal out of a box from a place in Disney Springs called Gideon's Bakehouse. And I loved it so much. So we went to Gideon's Bakehouse, not just for that reason, but we all wanted to go, and it's pretty fabulous place. Looks kind of creepy and spooky, and it's small, but you have to stand in a long line, and you go inside and you can work your way to the register, order what you want, and then take it out. There's no sitting down in there. But she made journals out of the packaging that comes from Gideon's. So the journal, and I will try to remember to link that video below. But let me tell you, she shows 3. I found it again so I could watch it again before. I think after I bought these boxes, I watched it on my tablet while we were down in Florida. But she shows 3 journals in that video, and the first one is one she purchased from me. But if you want to, you can just skip to the middle part where she shows the journal that she made out of a cake box like this. Her picture was different. She said they change the pictures every season on the bags and boxes. But it's got a nice wide spine, what you would turn into a spine. Protect the cake slice. Tells you how to take care of your cake when you take it home. So this was a 3-layer chocolate chip marshmallow cake. So it was chocolate cake, and I think it had chocolate chips in the cake. I'm not sure. But it had marshmallow buttercream frosting. And there was chocolate chips on top. It was fantastic. I couldn't eat the whole thing. It was huge. And I tried to save it, and I had to throw away some of it, and I felt sick throwing it away. But This is a fun, this looks like a pentacle, but it has chocolate, vanilla, sugar, and stuff like that. You know, I don't do the witchcraft stuff, but he looks like a little gargoyle. So anyway, she made a Halloween type of journal out of it, but just for her own personal, she was using it for herself. And I had 2 boxes. So I got a cookie in one, just a cookie in a cake box. I told the girl that I make journals out of unusual materials and asked if I could have an extra bag, or a big bag, because I wasn't sure if she would give me a big bag with my cake slice and stuff. So she did. She was very intrigued by that. So she gave me extra materials. This is a bag. I probably would have gotten this bag anyway. See, they're kind of creepy. You have to really be into this stuff, which I'm not into creepy stuff, but I really like this little guy. He's cute. So I have 2 of these big bags because she put my ingredients in one, and then she slipped an extra one. This is the one that didn't get used, I think. This one's a little more crinkled. And I think my daughter gave me one of her bags too. I probably won't use all of them. But then she slipped in some extra glassine things because I couldn't keep the ones that had the food in them. They were too messy. So this was the glassine piece that was wrapped around my piece of cake. And I think there are 2 designs. Yes, there's the Gideon's logo. So I can use these. Not in my, I might put a piece of one of these in my Disney journal, but I just want to make a separate Gideon's journal. And then these are the little bags. I think I actually did keep the one that my cookie was in, because that was just a cookie. It didn't have icing. But it was not just a cookie. It was a rounded up cookie, and it was just covered in chocolate chips. Chocolate cookie with chocolate chips on top. And I couldn't eat all of that either. So these are the bags, and this one has a different logo. I have 2 of those. So that's the stuff I got from Gideon's. This is the little notebook that I took with me, just a blank notebook. And I wrote each day. I didn't write about yesterday yet, but I wrote about what I did each day. So I'll have that to transfer into my journal. This was in my room when we got to our resort. We stayed at, what was the resort? Pop Century Resort. And it's one of the more budget-friendly resorts, but it was still nice. And so I'll just take little pieces off of this, like Fall Fun at Walt Disney World, because we didn't do the Not So Scary Halloween party. We did go to Epcot, but I don't think I'll use that picture. Keep the Magic Going. I can just cut that part out. And I have a bag that I can use in my journal somehow, maybe. My son gave me some cards. My granddaughter and he like to play Disney Lorcana with friends, and he gave me a selection of cards to see if I could get signatures. Well, the first princess we saw for a meet and greet to get signatures that was on one of these cards was Tiana, and we stood in line for like 30 minutes to get a signature, but I did get a signature from Tiana. I didn't see any of the others, and I didn't want to stand in lines for that anymore, because we stood in long lines for everything, and my feet were killing me. But I did get one signature for them. This is a map of our Pop Century Resort, so I can put that in. And then, of course, in your room, they had all of these there for us. Well, maybe not. I know we picked these up at the parks, but they may have been in my room too. But anyway, we went to Epcot. We went to Hollywood Studios. We went to Disney Springs. In case you don't know, Disney Springs is not a resort. You don't stay there, and you don't have to pay an entry fee. But you go there, and you have restaurants and shops. And there's a Cirque du Soleil show there. My husband and I went there, more than, let's see, We went there like 23 years ago because Monica, my first granddaughter, was just brand new when we went there. But it's a different show now. It was fabulous when we went. But it's a different show there now. I wish we could have seen it. But I can cut this apart too and use it. There's a map of Disney Springs. And then, of course, all the different parks. We went to all of them. We went to Magic Kingdom twice. So I don't know if I want to keep these whole or cut them. I think I would like to keep the map whole. I should have gotten... I had multiples of some of them, and I just kept one of each, and I should have kept the multiples so I could cut them apart. But I have all of those that I can use. And then there was a Christmas party. I don't know how many times they do the Christmas party, but I know it was at least twice this past week. And the Christmas party means they close the park at 7 unless you paid extra to stay for the party. And you get some perks like a Christmas ornament, and then you get to keep riding the rides. And there were treats. You go to specific locations for some treats, cookies and a drink, usually. Cookie and cider, cookie and cocoa, things like that. And the cookies were were wrapped so you could take them. So I took all the cookies, each one that I went to, and the cocoa was really good. And I ended up throwing the cookies away before we left the resort because I didn't want to take them on the plane. There was just so much to nibble on that I couldn't keep up with that, and probably shouldn't have. But I can cut this up. I can save this main piece and put it in my journal. And of course, it's just a map. That was at Magic Kingdom, so that's just a map of Magic Kingdom, so I don't need to keep that. I already have it. So I can cut this section. It's this section right here. And maybe cut some other things out of it. And I have should have two. Here it is. My flight, what do you call these? Tickets, I guess, but that's not what they call them. You have to scan these in when you're boarding. Boarding pass, that's what it is. These are my boarding passes for going and coming. We have these buttons. They asked us if it was our first visit when we were checking in, and we said no, but last visit was 10 years ago. So she gave it to us because it has been so long. So I just wore that on the first day. Here's another brochure that was in our room. Your take-along guide to the magic. And I didn't even take it and look at it at all, but I brought it with me. So I imagine there are things in here I can cut up. We did do Lightning Lane passes. I'd never done that before because it's expensive to do that. But we did that for one day at Magic Kingdom, and it was fantastic. So it's really hard to stand in line and wait. And I can put this in my journal and talk about getting her signature. Not that one, of course. She looked different than that, but she was a Tiana. There's Test Track. I didn't do that. But I did do some rides that I would have previously not done. I did the Tower of Terror, which I would never do before. And it wasn't what I expected. It was really fun, actually. I only did that one time. My husband really loved it, but I didn't go on it with him. He went on it with my daughter. We saw the new Disney Villains show that they have. That was fun. We did not do the Slinky Dog Dash because the line was extremely long. That's at Epcot. We did do Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which was really, really fun. And I did Tron. I couldn't believe I did it. It's a high-speed roller coaster. And it was over like that. But it was fun. I was like, I couldn't believe how fast it was. It was very intense. And it took me aback. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then when I finally relaxed and started smiling, it was over. We didn't do Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach. I don't even know what they are. So there's Gideon's Bakehouse. I cut that part out. There's some things in here I can use. This is the ribbon they put around my wrist to show that I belonged at the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. For a while, you had to show your ribbon, which was they leave a long tail, so it was sticking up. It was cold. I didn't tell you, it was like in the 30s there at the beginning of the week, especially at the beginning of the day. And then it gradually warmed up until it was quite nice and warm. It was still chilly in the mornings. But anyway, we had our sweatshirts on, so they could still see the tails of our ribbons sticking out in order to get on a ride or get the free treats. And then after a while, they stopped asking because by then, everybody who didn't have the ribbons was already out of the park. So I can keep that. I'll probably cut this part off and stretch it out on a page. And you got a free ornament too. Well, it's not free because you had to pay to stay there. But this is the 2025 Very Merry Christmas Party ornament. Mickey and Pluto in a red truck with a tree. And the popcorn, you get a popcorn bucket. You have to pay for it. It's expensive. I didn't get one, but my daughter did. You buy the popcorn bucket, and it has room for a little bit of popcorn in it, but it's shaped like this. And then you can bring the popcorn bucket to any park for the rest of the season, I guess, and get free, not free, but get refills for $2.50, which is pretty cheap because their food there is very expensive. I did buy a bucket of popcorn, a little cardboard box of popcorn after she bought her bucket. So I can cut a panel off of this and save it. This is what the popcorn came in. I saved 1 or 2 receipts just to have receipts in my journal. I bought this after we went on the Haunted Mansion. And there's, I love the ride, It's a Small World. And I only did it twice this time. We went to Magic Kingdom twice, so we did it once each time. But I wanted to buy this book. I don't know if I'll do anything with it. I just want to have it. I'll read it. And they also had It's a Small World in a golden book, and I didn't pick it up. And it didn't cost any more than the price that's marked on the back. So it would be the same as, I don't even know if you can buy them anywhere but at Disney World. There's It's a Small World. Oh yeah, because I can order it from Amazon, which I'm going to do. It's already in my cart on Amazon. But they had a five book set on Amazon too with all the park rides, which I don't want the whole set. But there's Jungle Cruise, and I don't remember what else. Probably, I don't know if the Tower of Terror is on it. But anyway, I got this one, and I will get It's a Small World, and that's probably all I'll get. I did ride the Jungle Cruise, though. This is just what came with my magic band, so I'll probably keep that in there. This was on my luggage that got checked into Disney World. So I'll save that. This is postcards that were free at Epcot in the American Adventure section of World Showcase at Epcot. My son-in-law picked these up for me. And this is a festival passport, and it was for getting cheeses. So it's a passport. You get a stamp, like a rubber stamp, if you tried any of these cheese selections at various parts, little venues throughout the park. And if you try 5 of them, then you get a treat at the end and a final stamp. So they let us, my grandson wasn't doing it, but my daughter, son-in-law, and I were. So they let us, like, this was cheesy rolls. What is it? Brazilian cheese bread is what it was. And they were little rolls, and they were cheesy, but it was baked into it. It was delicious. And some of them I just took a tiny taste of. This was a cheesecake. So I ate a couple bites of that. This was a slice of cheese, or maybe one of these was a slice of cheese, like a maybe 1/4 inch thick slice of cheese, and it was grilled, not with bread. It was just grilled, and it had something on top of it. I can't remember what, but I liked, oh, it had honey on it, and I don't like honey, but the cheese was good. And this, whatever this was, I didn't even want to taste it. But they let us get buy one treat and then share it, and they stamped all of our books, which I thought was really nice. So my grandson and I left Epcot early because that was our last park. It was Friday night, and we left early because we couldn't do it anymore. And they stayed, and they finished this and got their treat, which was some kind of lime yogurt or something like that. Looked fancy though. So this is a fun thing. I won't keep the whole booklet, but I can save some of the pieces. I'll probably save this page. My grandson loved Epcot because he loves Remy. And, you know, Remy is a chef, a rat. It's from the movie Ratatouille. And Epcot, the World Showcase, focuses a lot on cuisine. So, like, Remy is kind of like their mascot now because he's a chef. So, and there's a Ratatouille ride, which was really, really, really fun. So that was my grandson's favorite part of our trip. Oh, this is the menu card they give you while you're standing in line at Gideon's. And I did buy, I thought I bought 3, but maybe I only bought 2 because they were so expensive. These were $3.99 for one postcard. But I got this one because it has all these little icons, and that's the little car that you ride on the Ratatouille ride. Looks like a little mouse, a rat. So some of these I rode or visited. And this, because, you know, it just represents Disney World. There's another Epcot one. And this, finally, was, speaking of Remy and Ratatouille, this is Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak. So you could get these cards and visit the different places. This says Mexico, Coastal Eats, and Canada. Those are the empty spots that I have, so I'm going to fill them in. But we went to, say we went to Canada, and we looked for Remy, and we would find him holding one of the ingredients for Ratatouille, the stew, and then we could put our sticker on it. So that was a fun game to play. I did not finish it because we left early, but my son-in-law and my daughter finished it. So I can look at the photos she sent me and finish filling it in. But the funny thing is, we were sitting down and eating our first cheese treat, which was the Brazilian cheese bread. We're just sitting there eating it, and I looked up and I said, oh, look, there's Remy. He was on the top of the little building where we bought the cheese bread, and he was holding a carrot. And then we found these cards and realized we already found the first one without even knowing we were supposed to be looking. So that was fun. So I'll finish that out and put that in my journal. And that's what I have to put in my journal until I print pictures out, and then I'll have some more. So I brought home quite a bit of stuff to put in my journal. Let me show you a couple other things I bought. I did buy some pins for myself to keep, and I bought some pins for Layla because she couldn't go with us. And I told my mother is really into Disney, and I told her I would bring her something, so I found her something really special. I'll show you in a minute. But because I went on the Tower of Terrors, the Hollywood Tower of Terrors, I found this bell, the Hollywood Tower Hotel. So the Tower of Terrors is supposed to be an old hotel, and so they were selling this little bell there in the gift shop, and I had to have that. I just thought it was so darn cute. So I'm going to do a little shelf display in here that I'm going to put my pins that I bought on some kind of a fabric just pin them on it and frame them or something and hang them, and then have this on a shelf, and my magic band, and I don't know what else. I don't remember what else I had to put on there. Let me show you what I bought my mother. She loves Disney, and her favorite is Snow White. I can't wait to give this to her. I found this. It's a little book, and it's musical. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And then you open it. So it just reads the first page, and there's writing on this page. But it's got this beautiful image of Snow White and Prince Charming going into the future with their castle. Isn't that cool? My mother will love it. She'll have it sitting next to, on the little table next to her chair, and she'll keep opening it and playing it. There's little dwarves carved in it right there. It's just so pretty. When I saw it, I knew this was what I wanted to get her. I can't wait to give it to her, but I have to wait till I'm not contagious. I think maybe tomorrow I'll be okay. I'm not coughing as much today. So, yep. That was it. That's my trip. Hopefully I'll be able to start working on journals again tomorrow. Maybe. I'll have to replenish my refrigerator and stuff, because I have no food in my refrigerator and I don't have energy to go shopping today. So I'm excited about being able to put the things in my journal, and I'll give my daughter her journal and she can start putting things in hers if she actually does it. Maybe we'll get together one day and work on it together, because I don't think she would do it on her own. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing what I brought home from Disney World. I hope it was fun for you. That's all the video I can do today. So I will see you soon, I hope, and I hope you're having a creative day. See you soon. Bye.